Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Rise and Talent Talkers. Today, your hosts are me, Becca, and I'm also joined today by Alice. Today, we are interviewing semi-pro journalist Alexandria Kinsella-Evans. Thank you for being here, Alex. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Brilliant. So yeah. Obviously, being a semi-pro journalist, everyone wants to know the question: how did you get into sports in general?
So I grew up in a sports type of environment. My great grandfather used to play rugby union, used to play rugby league professionally before I was born, and then it sort of passed on then to my grandpa on my dad's side. He used to play for his local team in Tredegar, and then my dad did sports in school as well, so it really runs in the family, and so I got into it that way.
That's amazing. So it's kind of like a family history thing for you. That's how the sport relevance is. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So also on the question of sports in general, who is your hero, idol, inspiration in the sports industry?
I have a couple. So from rugby, Lauren James and Catherine Helen as well. So they're two very good presenters. And then sort of on like the motorsport side, I would say like Naomi Schiff, Arivia Bravo, Natalie Pinkham, Bernie Collins as well. So
I have to agree with you. I do love, especially I'm not so educated about especially like rugby journalists and inspirations that other people have, but I am very familiar with the names you just named for motorsports, and I've got to agree with you, especially for women in motorsports. They are such idols to look up to, so I'm very happy that you mentioned those names.
So Alex, you're quite a young journalist. Do you ever face some challenges with this?
So yeah, sometimes. So this back when I was 14, 15 years old, when I used to always try and get involved with boys' sport, and boys used to always not bully me, but like used to say, "Oh, you don't belong in this sport, or you don't belong to be in a male-dominated sport," which is common these days now to say that to young women. But that sort of gave me the trajectory of going and proving them wrong, and actually like showing them that actually women do belong in both rugby and motorsport, or any male dominated sport in general, to be fair. So
yeah, I find that's quite the big challenge for women nowadays, but we are breaking through. But as your breakthrough, what is the dream for you?
So I either want to go down two paths. I either want to go down the motorsport journalism / presenting side of things, or I want to go down the rugby journalism side of things, and hopefully do professionally in the United Rugby Championship, or the URC as it's more well known, but also as well sticking with my local club of Edville RFC and really bring them along with the journey that I'm hopefully going to go through regardless which path I take. So
that's absolutely brilliant. So I'm right in saying that you are part of the Rookie Reporters.
Yes.
These are a rise. If anyone didn't know, they are a rising group known for their excellent takes on sport and talent in writing. I can say so myself. I've read several of their articles. They are very, very talented people. Tell me what it's like being a part of that team.
So I think like every single person who is in that group are amazingly talented and are amazingly supportive. Obviously, Alice knows, also being in the Rookie Reporters, that sometimes when I have to come to her for advice, she's always there. She always puts her hand on my back and helps me along the way. But also all the other people that are involved, including Scarlett, Charlotte, Annie, Michelle as well. Yeah. So I know I've always got all the girls and even some of the boys around me as well for support if I ever need to go to them about anything. So
I think that's really important though, especially when you are in such a big team such as the Rookie Reporters. I know that with Rising Talent Academy, teamwork is such a big aspect, and people really underestimate how much it's needed in such a big team. You know, you bounce off of each other's ideas, you motivate each other, as you say, you're there when maybe you're struggling. So yeah, I think that it's such a powerful thing, and as I can say the same for Rise and Tan Academy, without teamwork, there's nothing there. So,
Yeah.
what does inclusivity in sport mean to you personally?
I think it's about achieving your dreams and sort of pushing them obstacles out of the way. Yes, there'll be obstacles in your way sometimes in life, but at the end of the day, if you break them obstacles down, you're gonna get to your goal much more easier. Even if it's just the littlest things, like I said earlier, like boys telling you that you are not or shouldn't be involved in male dominated sports. Something as little as that, if you break down that barrier and prove them wrong, it's just one step further to your dream of doing whatever you want in life, regardless. So,
Yeah, I think that's a very, very honest and passionate message there. I know you mentioned about potentially going into presenting. So, on
yeah.
that topic, if you could have a dream interview, who would it be with?
Ooh. So I would say the a Prema F4 driver by the name of David Cosma. I think he's a really nice driver and also a nice person as well. So either him or any of the rookies from last year in F1. I think what they've achieved so far in becoming rookies and taking that first step into F1, it just shows that anything is possible, no matter the setbacks, no matter what happens. You can always like make sure that your talent is shown and that first rookie year it just gets done out of the way and you can just focus on the next season then.
Yeah. And then obviously we've talked about the challenges that you face as a young sports journalist, but what is your favourite part about it?
I feel like my favourite part about being a young sports journalist is making connections, but also as well connecting with like drivers or rugby players' families. Like it was Saturday, I had a rugby game and connecting with them players' families and talking to them families and just having a nice time really makes you realise that you're lucky to be in this sport. And I don't think a lot of people have the privilege of saying that. So I think that's a little thing that I hold in my heart and I will always will do when I take that journey upwards. So
I love that. And having written so many different articles across rugby and most sports, what is the advice you would give to other people wanting to pursue a career in journalism?
I would say never doubt yourself. Like at the start, when I was first doing my journalism writing, I was always doubting whether my stuff was good enough. Even when I was writing little notes to myself, it's like you never doubt what your work is worth, even if other people try to say, "Oh no, it's not this," when actually it's 10 times better than what people are actually saying to you. So as long as you put in the effort, work hard, because obviously life is not easy, and there will be people there that are trying to tear you down and stuff. So just focus on yourself, always work hard, and never let anyone tell you any different.
I think that's such an amazing message, actually. From my perspective, obviously, as I said, what you guys do over at the Rookie Reporters is, I think, so inspirational because you're all so young, and to see the talent through your writing and to see the way that you do uplift each other and you're always sharing these messages. You're very, very consistent, I will say. If anyone's ever seen them on social media, they're very consistent people. And I think, yeah, as you say, the way I look at it, I mean, for me, doubting yourself is something that very weighs heavily, I think, in the mental aspect, because sometimes you do just think, oh, maybe that post didn't, it didn't do as well as usual, or are people really going to like this message that we're sending out? And you kind of really have that mental block almost. And I can say that I experienced that quite a lot. But
Yeah.
as I said, thanks to my team and the people that I have around me, that it starts to shift a little. And I think that's such an important message that you said there, just to keep going, just have strong belief and confidence in your work, because as you can say, the impact that you guys have made as such a small team already is just so inspirational. So I very much agree with you there. Um, if you had to describe yourself using 3 words and 3 words only, what words would you use and why would you use them?
Energetic, because I'm a bundle of fun, and when I have too much energy, I can become very hyper. My parents will tell you that when I get too much energy, I just go overboard and really hyper. Friendly, because if people meet me for the first time, I'm very much open. I can give them advice, and I'll basically take them under my wing. And the third one is caring, because I always stick up for people no matter what it is. Like when Alex Dunn crashed and had that 10-car pile up in Monaco, I was straight into the comment section defending him for his life, and that just supporting him there and making a good environment for him in that comment section was the right thing to do, in my opinion. So
I think I can say firsthand, everybody, she is a very kind person. Like, she's made me feel very comfortable in this interview, and I think Alice can say the same here. Just a couple of follow-up questions that I will ask. So unfortunately, it's not F1 hasn't come back exactly right now. We have had some preseason testing, but we have seen all the cars out on track, and we have seen their liveries. I just want to ask you, what has been your top 3 favourite liveries and why?
So I've been discussing this with my friends from college. My favourite livery, it has to be either the Red Bull main team's really shiny one, or Haas's one in the top. Yeah, Haas, Red Bull, and I'm gonna say Audi as well. Their one looks very similar to McLaren 2008, but I like the way they went with it. So they're my top 3 favourite liveries.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you, especially I think everyone had a similar reaction around the Red Bull. It's kind of a nostalgia hit, people are calling it, which I very much agree with. I almost kind of expected Sebastian to come out around the corner and like jump in the car. That's the kind of vibe that it gave. Alex, are there any like common misconceptions around journalism, or maybe things that people assume about journalism in general that aren't true, or kind of myths almost?
I think something that people misconcept about journalists are they write bad things. So like criticism and stuff like that, even on like politics. Like, they're bad people for writing bad things, but at the end of the day, you're not. You're just there to do your job. And so, yeah, like even in the match reports I write some criticism that then the team used as a little strength thing to get better for their next game. So that's something I feel like people misconcept about journalists.
I mean, from my point of view, I have a very big respect for journalism in general. I think at one point before I kind of started Rising Talent Academy, did consider it, because there's something about journalism that it's not just interviews and it's not just writing articles. There's something so special about being able to showcase other people's story and showcase, really getting these different perspectives across that people wouldn't usually consider about the person you're interviewing or about the article that you're writing. I will say that I do think that, especially, there are many negative connotations around journalism. I know my dad, he always has this one podcast on, and it's always filled with kind of these almost negative comments all the time. They're not always positive. They kind of downplay certain sports. They kind of downplay certain people. And I think especially the rookie reporters, they do provide that positive message. Even when it's something negative, you guys very much do promote. You do make several posts against cyberbullying and against bullying in general on social media, and you guys are very loud and proud about sharing that message, which I very much agree with, which I think is such an important thing to mention, especially considering the time around the area of social media now, I think that it's so easy to get caught up in everything negative that people kind of forget that positive message that people are trying to spread, especially in journalism. So I think that's something that people can really be inspired about your guys' group, and about the reporters, because they very much, as I said, they do inspire me a lot. Sometimes I'm like, right, I need to really like kick my rear in gear, guys, because they, that's a good thing, because it makes me want to be better, not only on social media, but be a better role model for my team.
Yeah. And I think as well, rudeness, like people misconcept about like journalists being like, when they trying to interview someone really famous, being rude. That's not always the case for all journalists. So in terms of journalism, I feel like, the articles and that stuff people write about that are negative, I feel like that's misconcepted as well, because sometimes it brings light to problems that are not always shared in the public spotlight by people, even in politics, like anything, even stuff that goes on behind Downing Street's number 10 door, like things that have come out of there. I've been very shocked, but I'd rather it come out and expose the Prime Minister for their wrongs than it be kept in secret and the Prime Ministers get away with it. So
very much so. I think bringing light to it, as you said, is a very, very important thing, because it's not just bringing light to a name, it's bringing light to a situation that very much needs talking about. So yeah, I very much do agree with your points there. Alice, I do want to ask, is there any other last questions you do want to ask Alex?
Yes, just this one question of, obviously you've written loads of articles, but do you have a favourite article that you've written, like whether you look back at it and you go, this was actually something I had a great time writing?
I think all the articles I've written, whether it was on my own or collaborating with one of the other Rugby Reporters members, were great. But I've got to say the breaking news Luke Browning one, I was in college, and when you text through the breaking news, I was like, right, I need to do this quickly when I get home. And the quicker I do it, the more time I'll have to spend then on doing other like reports for the team. So that one very quick wit, and I had to think about how to word it very quickly. So I've put myself on the spot, even though I don't deal with pressure that very well. So yeah, I'm happy with how that one came out, considering I did that one on my own.
No, I love that. I love that. Sometimes I think something that happens, and anyone who does follow your social media may have had this experience. Sometimes something like breaking news will come out, and I won't actually know about it until I see one of your guys' posts. And I'm like, "There's no way!" And I'm instantly rushing to check like all these socials, and I'm like, "I can't believe that." So I think that you guys are very reliable in the sense that when there is news, it's instantly reported on. Like sometimes there'll be a breaking news post 5 minutes ago, and I'm instantly seeing articles. I'm instantly seeing like 5 social media posts, and I'm like, this is just, they're so quick. And that's something I really would like to describe your team as. You're very, very efficient in that sense. It's just so amazing to me how hard you guys work, and I have a great, great deep respect for you guys and what you do. And I know that you'll only go far into the future, and it's such a pleasure being able to partner with you guys, because you are the next generation of what people are going to look up to, and I can't wait to see how that lays out for you. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Alex. Thank you so much for coming on. We've really enjoyed talking to you. And yeah, if you want to see our future episodes, be sure to give us a follow, a like, a subscribe, all the below, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you very much.